Welcome back to ABCGH Spoilers channel. Today we're diving deep into the latest thrilling developments in Port Charles, where shocking secrets, unexpected alliances, and high-stakes showdowns will shake the lives of some of your favorite characters. Buckle up because this is going to be a wild ride filled with danger, deception, and dramatic confrontations. Sonny Corinthos' search for a new beginning and a hidden agenda? Sonny Corinthos has always been a man of power, control, and influence, but for the first time in a long time, he finds himself in a vulnerable position. Forced to find a new home, Sonny turns to Lucy Coe for assistance. But is that all he's looking for? In a moment of vulnerability, he turns to Dante Falconeri and shares the deep emotional pain that comes with growing up without a father figure. Dante, being the man that he is, listens intently and offers words of comfort and wisdom. After all, Dante knows exactly what it feels like to grow up not knowing his father, Sonny Corinthos, until much later in life. This shared experience forms an instant connection between the two men. But here's the real bombshell. Gio is completely unaware that Dante is his biological father. And Dante? He has no clue either. This secret has been buried for years, but when it finally comes out, it will change everything. How will Gio handle the truth when he finds out that the man he confided in is actually his father? And how will Dante react when he realizes he has a son he never knew existed? This revelation has the power to turn their lives upside down and create ripple effects that shake Port Charles to its core. Lulu Spencer and Damian Spinelli. A dangerous mission that could change everything. Across town, Lulu Spencer is on a mission that could alter the course of several lives. Determined to uncover long-buried secrets, she enlists the help of Damian Spinelli, a tech genius who has the skills to dig up information that no one else can access. Lulu has her sights set on Martin Gray's confidential records, convinced that they hold key details that could lead her straight to Valentine Cassadine. If she can find Valentine, she believes she can finally track down Charlotte Cassadine and bring her home. But as with anything in Port Charles, nothing is ever that simple. What Lulu and Spinelli don't realize is that they are playing a very dangerous game. There are people out there who will stop at nothing to keep these secrets buried. And if Lulu and Spinelli get too close to the truth, they may find themselves in the crosshairs of some very powerful enemies. Will they be able to uncover the truth before it's too late? Or will their mission put them in serious jeopardy? Brad Cooper's Miami getaway. Or is it a disaster in the making? Over in Miami, Brad Cooper is on a business trip that could turn into something much more meaningful, or completely disastrous. During a medical symposium, he reconnects with Lucas Jones, and for a brief moment, it seems like old wounds might finally begin to heal. Lucas, who has kept his distance from Brad since their painful breakup, finds himself drawn to the man he once loved. The spark is still there, and for the first time in a long time, Lucas considers the possibility of giving Brad another chance. But Brad has a way of sabotaging himself. Just as things seem to be turning in his favor, the mess he's been caught up in with Selena Wu and Portia Robinson threatens to come crashing down on him. With Selena holding evidence that Portia manipulated Heather Weber's lab results, Brad is in a position where one wrong move could ruin not only his own life, but also the lives of others. Will he finally break free from the cycle of bad decisions? Or is he doomed to repeat his past mistakes? Curtis Ashford versus Drew Quartermaine. A ruthless battle for power. Meanwhile, in Port Charles, a war is brewing between Curtis Ashford and Drew Quartermaine. The tension between them has been simmering for a while, but now, it's about to boil over. Drew has uncovered Curtis's calculated plan to use Congressman Henderson as a pawn in a much larger power play. Now that Drew is aware of Curtis's true intentions, he makes one thing abundantly clear. He won't go down without a fight. And if Curtis is willing to play dirty, so is Drew. He reaches out to Selena Wu, who has some very valuable dirt that could put Curtis in a very precarious position. The stakes are high, and neither man is willing to back down. This isn't just about business or politics anymore. This is personal. And when these two men collide, the fallout will be felt across Port Charles. Who will come out on top in this brutal battle for dominance? Jason Morgan faces off with Jen Sidwell. A life-threatening situation unfolds. Finally, in the heart of the chaos, Jason Morgan finds himself dealing with one of the most dangerous situations he's faced in a long time. It all starts when Sasha Gilmore Corbin is confronted by an unexpected intruder in the Quartermaine kitchen. In a panic, she grabs a meat mallet and prepares to defend herself, but it quickly becomes clear that this isn't just some random home invasion. This is Jen Sidwell making his move. Sidwell is furious that Sasha has been talking too much about her kidnapping ordeal, and he makes it clear that she needs to stay silent if she wants to ensure her safety and the safety of her unborn child. But Sasha refuses to be intimidated. When she reports everything to Jason Morgan, he immediately realizes the gravity of the situation. Jason isn't the kind of man to let threats go unanswered. He vows to protect Sasha and her baby at any cost, but going up against a man as ruthless as Sidwell is no small task. This situation is about to escalate into a full-scale war. And when the dust settles, someone may not make it out alive. The battle lines are drawn. Who will survive the fallout? Port Charles is about to be rocked by shocking betrayals, explosive confrontations, and life-changing revelations. As secrets unravel and alliances shift, who will come out on top? And who will fall? Next, we're diving into a high-stakes emotional whirlwind that's shaking up some of your favorite characters' lives in General Hospital. As shocking proposals and hidden regrets come to the surface, the fate of Brooke Lynn Quartermaine and Harrison Chase's future takes a dramatic turn. But will their conflicting perspectives on family and legacy tear them apart? Buckle up, this one's a wild ride. Brooke Lynn's growing doubts. A hidden pain resurfaces. For Brooke Lynn Quartermaine, the idea of starting a family isn't just about biology, it's deeply personal. While Chase is eagerly looking for quick solutions, Brooke Lynn is haunted by a past decision that's never truly left her. In her heart, she knows that her journey with motherhood isn't something to rush into, especially given her history with the child she once gave up for adoption. This secret from her past has been sitting in the shadows, a quiet but powerful force that shapes how she sees her future. She isn't just hesitating because Chase's idea is impulsive. She's struggling to reconcile her own past choices with what she wants moving forward. Can she make peace with the child she lost while considering bringing another into the world? Does she truly want to start a family? Or is this Chase's dream more than hers? Chase's single-minded determination. Is he thinking it through? Harrison Chase, on the other hand, is completely fixated on solving what he sees as a simple problem: how to have a child that carries his family's DNA. And to him, his brother Hamilton Finn is the answer. His logic: if Brooke Lynn isn't able to conceive naturally, why not use Finn's sperm so their future child is still connected to Chase's lineage? It's a stunningly wild suggestion that completely floors Brooke Lynn. Chase, in classic impulsive fashion, isn't slowing down to process the bigger implications of what he's proposing. His vision is clear: a baby with his family's genes raised as his own. He assumes that Brooke Lynn will just roll with it, brushing off the obvious complications with a confident, "We'll figure it out later." But later isn't good enough when you're making a decision that will affect the rest of their lives. Brooke Lynn is in shock at how easily Chase dismisses the logistics of this arrangement: who the child's father truly is, how Finn would feel, and how it could fracture their already delicate family dynamics. And let's be real. This isn't like choosing between wallpaper colors. You don't just figure out whose DNA you're using to create a whole human being. Finn's role a repeat of the past? Hamilton Finn has been through this kind of situation before. When he discovered that Violet Finn was his daughter, He immediately stepped up to take responsibility. The idea that he would somehow stay detached from a biological child that Chase and Brooklyn are raising seems unlikely. What happens if Finn, despite all good intentions, starts to feel like the child should be more than just a niece or nephew to him? The family ties here would be tangled beyond belief. Violet would have a cousin that's actually her half-sibling, and Chase, Finn, and Brooklyn could find themselves caught in a complicated emotional tug-of-war. Would Finn be able to stay in his lane, or would his natural paternal instincts kick in, creating an even bigger mess? The potential for conflict is sky-high, and no one seems to be thinking about the long-term emotional fallout. Brooklyn's silent panic. Is Chase even listening? While Chase is barreling ahead at full speed, Brooklyn is desperately trying to find a way out of this conversation without shattering his enthusiasm. She knows that saying no outright could lead to tension between them, but she also knows that this is not a choice she can make lightly. Brooklyn needs to find the words to gently but firmly steer Chase away from this idea before it snowballs into a disaster. But how does she do that without breaking his heart? More importantly, why does he not see how reckless this is? Her concerns aren't just about logistics or genetics. They're about love, responsibility, and making sure that any child they bring into this world is brought in for the right reasons. Chase's desperation to find a quick solution might be blinding him to the reality that Brooklyn isn't on the same page as him. A battle of perspectives. Can they even compromise? At its core, this isn't just a disagreement about whether or not they should use Finn as a donor. It's a deeper clash between two very different ways of thinking. Chase is driven by his emotions and desire for immediate solutions, while Brooklyn is weighing the heavy emotional baggage that comes with this decision. If they can't get on the same page, could this issue break them? Brooklyn is grappling with her past, her fears, and her unresolved emotions, while Chase is rushing forward without truly understanding the long-term impact of his suggestion. If these two can't find common ground, their future as a couple may be in serious jeopardy. What comes next? With so many conflicting emotions, secrets, and pressures mounting, it's clear that Brooklyn and Chase's relationship is at a crossroads. If Chase pushes too hard, will Brooklyn feel forced into something she doesn't truly want? If Brooklyn rejects the idea outright, will Chase be able to accept her decision, or will he resent her for it? And most importantly, is Chase's desire for a child about love, or is it about legacy? Brooklyn isn't just afraid of making the wrong choice. She's afraid of what it could mean for their relationship. What do you think? Should Brooklyn put her foot down and say no? Or is there some middle ground that these two can reach? Next, we're diving into a highly debated topic among General Hospital fans, one that's been sparking frustration, criticism, and endless speculation. Could it be time for Drew and Willow's relationship to come to an end? Fans are increasingly vocal about their lack of chemistry, leading many to wonder whether this pairing was a mistake from the start. But if they do split, what's next for Willow? Could Michael Corinthos' return shake things up? Let's break it all down. A love story that's failing to ignite from the moment Drew and Willow's romance was introduced. Something just felt off. On paper, they had all the right ingredients for a compelling relationship. Two people who had been through pain, loss, and emotional upheaval, coming together to build something new. But in reality, the spark just isn't there. Viewers have been quick to point out that whenever Drew and Willow share the screen, their interactions fall flat. There's no passion, no intrigue, no real emotional depth that makes their love story feel believable. Instead, their scenes feel forced, as if the writers are trying too hard to convince the audience that there's something there. And if the audience isn't convinced, then what's the point? Fans weigh in, and they're not holding back. If you take a deep dive into GH discussion forums, you'll see a clear trend. Fans just aren't buying this couple. Some viewers are willing to tolerate them, while others are outright frustrated that the storyline hasn't been scrapped yet. One viewer put it bluntly, "Speaking head, I don't like them together, but at least they're not boring." That said, this storyline needs to move along fast. Willow needs to learn the truth about Drew, have a total breakdown, and then start begging for forgiveness. Another fan took an even harsher stance. Speaking Head, the other day, when they were at the GCPD, Willow turned to Drew and said, "Let's leave." I was literally shouting at my screen. Yes. And don't ever come back. Ouch. Clearly, patience is wearing thin when it comes to this romance. But the most concerning observation comes from those who feel like Willow is being completely controlled by Drew. One fan even compared him to Shiloh Archer, one of GH's most manipulative and unsettling characters. Speaking Head, Drew reminds me of the other Shiloh Archer, and Willow is so under his thumb that she can't, or won't, get out. That's a serious accusation. If audiences are getting controlling vibes from Drew, then his relationship with Willow might be doing more harm than good. Are the writers ignoring the obvious? With so many fans calling out Drew and Willow's lack of chemistry, it raises a burning question. Why are the writers sticking with it? If everyone seems to agree that the pairing isn't working, what's the holdup in making a change? It wouldn't be the first time that GH writers doubled down on an unpopular romance. A fan even pointed out that they had similar frustrations when Drew and Carly were first paired together. But over time, their dynamic evolved, and now fans actually enjoy their interactions. Could the same thing happen for Drew and Willow? Possibly. But the difference is that Drew and Carly's relationship had tension, emotional depth, and a natural evolution. Drew and Willow, on the other hand, seem stagnant. There's also another major wild card to consider, Michael Corinthos. Could Michael's return reignite an old flame? Let's be real. Willow's relationship history has been complicated, to say the least. Her time with Michael was filled with ups and downs, betrayals, and shocking twists. But one thing was always certain. They had chemistry. And that's exactly why Michael's return to Port Charles could be a game changer. With Michael back in town, will old feelings start to resurface? Will Willow realize that what she has with Drew is nothing compared to what she once had with Michael? Could this spark a love triangle that forces Willow to confront her true feelings? If the writers are looking for a way to shake things up, then a Willow-Michael reunion might be the way to go. It could bring back excitement, emotional stakes, and drama that this storyline is sorely lacking. Will Drew and Willow's relationship survive? At this point, it's uncertain whether Drew and Willow will last as a couple. But if things don't change, it's safe to say that fans won't be heartbroken if they split. The real question is, how will it end? Will Drew be the one to walk away when he realizes Willow isn't as invested as he is? Will Willow be the one to leave, chasing after her unresolved feelings for Michael? Or will something even more shocking happen that forces them apart? One thing is for sure. GH fans will need to tune in every day to find out what happens next. What do you think? Should Drew and Willow call it quits? Or is there still hope for their relationship?